All right, Tony, when he laid out the seam for the sink here, he was an inch off. I didn't check when I drilled the faucet. I just lined it up to the center of my seam here. Well, when I was looking at my faucet hole from back here, I realized it was not centered. All right, so if you look, if you can see the faucet right here, Tony dug the bit out of the vacuum for me, the hole that came out where I drilled it. So what I did is I put it right back against where it went right here. This is the hole. And then I used the hot glue here and I glued it back together tight. I used shims to hold it into place, all right? Then I mixed up some Akimi and filled in the area everywhere except where my shim's holding it into place to get some filler in there and some different colors, all right? I went with this base gray and then I spotted it up with black. As soon as it gets dry, I'm gonna pull these shims out and I'm gonna put the base gray back in there again, and then I'm gonna spot it up some more. So my shims, I think I'm dry enough to where my shims can come out now. How's it looking, Tommy?
What, the vanity?
This.
Good.
So my wood's kind of in there, but you can see that's probably going to come out anyway, so I'm not too concerned about the wood in there. But I am going to go ahead and fill it that way if some don't come out, but I don't know how well you can see the circle now, but I'll show you it when I get finished. So you want this as smooth as possible, you know, and it's all going to be covered with the not all of it, but a lot of it's going to be covered with the faucet itself. So we're just trying to make it look as natural as possible. So if you look at it now, you really can't even tell other than a hole right here. Yeah. And that's without even putting a faucet on it. So now let's see what center's going to be, okay? I think it's about 14 is what center needs to be, so I think we're about 28. We're exactly 28. There, okay. And then we'll go 2. Right there. So she's gonna put it right here, guys. Something like that. So I think we're going to be good. So I'm gonna go ahead and drill this, and then any filler we need to put in, we'll fill it, and I'll show you guys what it looks like. But remember, I did have a hole right there. So we're basically moving it over about a ½ inch. So we will play with the faucet, but anyways, I had a little play with the faucet, but just push pause, don't stop it, that way we can keep. So I drilled the hole now. Alright, we're just wiping it out here. So clean out the inside. If you can look, I got a little bit of a pit here that I need to skim. And then inside of here, I pushed all the chemie I could down in there, but I still got a little bit of a hole in there. So I want to make sure I get all that filled in real good too. So all we'll do with that is I'll show you. I think this color actually worked out pretty good. So I'm just going to keep this. Use just a little bit of hardener. I can find a good hardener. It's right over there.
Don't forget to cover those. Don't forget to cover those.
Yeah, I will. I gotta switch out that lid. I gotta wipe that one off. So, not a whole lot of hardener. I really don't want to change the colors. Luckily, this stone's got a good pattern to it. That's what's allowing us to do this. And the fact that we kept the hole that we pulled out, the bit. But you want to try to feel everything as good as you can with epoxy. And I use some hot glue, so I don't necessarily want the hot glue all up on my fingers. So I'm just going to try to use a paper towel and rub it underneath, because it will glue me to it. Alright, now we're going to just take a razor blade up that there. And this inside here, I kind of want it as smooth as I can get it. Now I'm just going to put this. Because we can still see that little line right there, you can see the black I put in it earlier coming through. I'm okay with that. Once it dries, we'll just Sharpie it up if we can still see it. And I'll show you what it looks like when I put the faucet down in there. Basically, we moved it from here to here, and the bit, I pushed it over to the side because I knew that was going to be the part that was most connected. So we got most of the meat, we just got a little lines basically we're feeling. And by starting with the hot glue, it kept it nice and strong, and then the epoxy afterwards, and then a secondary coat. You just want to make sure you don't have any problems with it in the future. I'm gonna let Tony crawl underneath and look and make sure everything's filled under there, because it's hard on my back. Just pause it. So Tony's underneath. He's gonna try to tell you. Can you tell under there where it moves together? Can you see the line?
Mm-hmm.
And it's filled.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, you want to go up under there and make sure it's filled good under there and all that stuff. And if you have anything, you want to make sure you scrape it smooth. That way when they put the nut on, you're in good shape. But
Pass me a razor blade.
alright, so we got our faucet in here now. This is what we got. You got a Sharpie on you, Tony?
There's one right here.
So I don't think anybody in the world would ever even think about that there was an issue here. But just because I know, I'm just going to spot that up a little bit more. And we're good to go. Now we're centered up like we need to be. And where the seam turned out good also, you know, it might be a worse issue if the seam didn't turn out real good. But the seam turned out great. You can't even really tell it's there. And but if it was a problem, you could surface polish everything and make it, you know, make it look better if it looked bad. But as we are, I think we're money, you know. So I'm totally happy with that, guys. Thanks for watching.